history of the Philippines begins long before written records. Archaeological findings show that the islands were already inhabited around 50,000 years before Christ by early humans. Among the oldest known human remains is the so-called Tabon man, whose bones were discovered in caves on Palawan and are dated to approximately 22,000 years before Christ. These early inhabitants lived as hunter-gatherers and used simple stone tools. From around 3,000 years before Christ, Austronesian peoples from the region of present-day Taiwan reached the Philippine Islands. They brought advanced seafaring skills, agriculture, rice cultivation, and social organizational structures. Over the following centuries, numerous independent communities emerged, known as barangays, which were ruled by local leaders called datas. These societies were culturally diverse, traded with one another, and maintained contacts with China, India, and the Malay world. From about 900 after Christ, trade with China intensified, as documented in Chinese records. Chinese porcelain, silk, and metal goods reached the islands. In the southern Philippines, Islam spread from the 13th century after Christ, particularly on Mindanao and in the Sulu archipelago. Islamic sultanates such as the Sultanate of Sulu and the Sultanate of Maguindanao emerged as political and religious centers. In the year 1521 after Christ, the Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan reached the Philippines while sailing under the Spanish crown. He landed on the island of Cebu, but was killed in the year 1522 after Christ during the Battle of Mactan by local warriors led by Lapu-Lapu. Despite Magellan's death, Spanish colonization began several decades later. In the year 1565 after Christ, the Spanish explorer Miguel Lopez de Legazpi founded the first permanent Spanish settlement in Cebu. Shortly thereafter, Manila was declared the colonial capital, and the islands were named the Philippines after King Philip II of Spain. Over the following centuries, the country remained under Spanish rule, was Christianized, and became part of the Spanish colonial empire. Catholicism spread rapidly and continues to shape Philippine society to this day. Spanish colonial rule lasted for more than 300 years. During this time, repeated local uprisings against colonial authority occurred, though most were suppressed. In the 19th century after Christ, an educated Philippine elite emerged that demanded reforms and equal rights. One of its most prominent figures was Jose Rizal, whose writings played a decisive role in the development of national consciousness. His execution in the year 1896 after Christ sparked widespread outrage. In the same year, the Philippine Revolution against Spain began. In the year 1898 after Christ, Emilio Aguinaldo declared Philippine independence. However, in the context of the Spanish-American War, the United States took control of the islands. Spain ceded the Philippines to the United States in the Treaty of Paris in the year 1898 after Christ. This was followed by the Philippine-American War, which lasted until the year 1901 after Christ, and resulted in heavy losses on both sides. After the defeat of the Philippine forces, the United States established a colonial administration. In the following decades, political reforms, a public education system, and infrastructural modernization were introduced, while demands for full independence persisted. In the year 1935 after Christ, the Philippines were granted Commonwealth status with limited self-government and the goal of full independence after 10 years. This process was interrupted by the Second World War. In the year 1941 after Christ, Japan occupied the Philippines. The Japanese occupation lasted until 1945 after Christ and was marked by violence, famine, and resistance. After the end of the Second World War, the Philippines officially gained independence from the United States on the 4th of July, 1946 after Christ. The young republic faced major challenges, including economic reconstruction, social inequality, and political instability. In the following decades, democratically elected governments alternated with authoritarian tendencies. In the year 1972 after Christ, President Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law. His rule was characterized by human rights violations, corruption, and growing national debt. In the year 1986 after Christ, the peaceful People Power Revolution led to the fall of Marcos, and the rise to power of Corazon Aquino. The post-Marcos era was marked by efforts to strengthen democratic institutions and implement economic reforms. Nevertheless, problems such as poverty, political violence, and regional conflicts persisted. In the early 21st century after Christ, the Philippines assumed an increasingly active role in Southeast Asia. Under President Rodrigo Duterte, who took office in the year 2016 after Christ, the aggressive campaign against illegal drugs in particular drew international criticism due to human rights violations. In the year 2022 after Christ, Ferdinand Marcos Jr., the son of the former dictator, was elected president. By the year 2025 after Christ, the Philippines are a democratic republic with a young and growing population. The country continues to face challenges such as social inequality, climate change, territorial tensions in the South China Sea, and the strengthening of the rule of law. At the same time, it possesses a vibrant civil society, a strong cultural identity, and an important role within the Southeast Asian region.